This program is suitable for general viewing.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A very good evening. My name is Faisal Kassim and welcome to the live Real Talk. And just late this afternoon, we had His Excellency the President William Ruto coming out and saying that he has dissolved his cabinet with the exception of two people, that is the Prime Cabinet Secretary and of course the Office of the Deputy President. This again can be regarded as a win or a success for as far as the Gen Z movement is concerned. These people who are leaderless, tribeless, and I don't know what else. We're going to find out right here on the set tonight. And we are here to discuss these people, this group of people, the Gen Zs born between 1997 to 2012. Their characteristics. What can we say about their emotional intelligence? What can we say about their characters that made it successful? The pros, the cons, the ups, the downs. Let's understand this generation. Funny enough is that some people back at home, I'm sure even some of you think that this is a movement or a political party. I don't know, is it a political party? Maybe. We're going to find out. But the Gen Z is a Generation Z. Basically, these are people who are born between a certain period of time. And they have some common characteristics that cut across the board. And we are here to understand them. Joining me tonight, I mean, it's a family affair on the set tonight. I have my mother and my sister, Sumaiya Saeed, and Madam Riziki, who's a clinical psychologist and a medical practitioner as well. Ladies, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Welcome, karibuni sana.
Shukran.
I can see all smiles, eh?
Yeah, very excited.
Why you why are you excited?
There's a new dispensation in the country. I mean, you can even feel the energy.
The vibe is giving.
Really excited.
It's giving.
The vibe is giving.
Yes, those are some of the words that are very common, right? The vibe is vibing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we are
it's
vibing.
giving.
We are vibing. Seriously, yeah.
Even you're vibing and giving.
Baya.
Leaderless, tribeless,
Fearless.
fearless, borderless, and what else? Just that.
Just that.
Why leaderless? Why tribeless? What makes you fearless?
Tribeless because we don't identify as per the tribe, whether you're Kikuyu, whether you're Luo, we don't care. We know you by your name and we know you as a Kenyan. You identify as a Kenyan, whether you come from Milima, whether you come from the lakeside, we don't care. And leaderless because there's nobody who's fueling this. Each and everybody has their own ideologies as to what is fueling them into fighting. Everyone knows what they're fighting for. There's someone who's fighting because their parents' pension wasn't paid. There's someone who's fighting because she can pay university. There's someone who's fighting because they're just fighting. So
Just because it's
So
giving.
just because it's giving. So we can't say we have a leader. There's no one who's telling you wake up and come to the streets. No, you have whatever is driving you to come to the street, and you come to the street.
But someone decided it's going to be on a Tuesday somewhere
No, actually,
and created a poster
the Tuesday
and shared the poster.
The Tuesday part
Yes.
is because the MPs usually have a sitting in the chair on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we were actually coming up on Tuesdays so that we can go to Parliament and prevent them from passing the finance bill. So this is how the Tuesday and Thursday.
But it was someone's idea, guys. You know what? Tuesday, these people are in
No,
Parliament.
you can even
so we'll
tell
go.
yourself right now. Tuesday, people
Yeah, I
come
can
to
tell
Parliament.
myself. So it means it'll be my
Wacha
idea if I
nikakaa
tell
hapo.
myself.
So
If I tell
basically,
myself, it'll be my idea, right?
it's somebody who just mentioned it.
So it's somebody.
You're trying to drive that has a leader, but it doesn't have a leader.
Leaderless.
It leaderless. Thank you.
Okay, so fearless. What makes you fearless?
Fearless, I think, because we really understand our rights. And we know that you have a right to opinion, you have a right to voice your grievances. And the fearless part also is because we are backed up by the Constitution. So you stand up and you talk about whatever the Constitution is backing you out, and you quote and quote the articles that you know where you stand.
Interesting. We've had many liberations. We've had the independence. We've had the multi-party. We've had what many thought would be the third and the final liberation. If anything, both political camps towards the 2022 general elections were going on an economic transformative agenda. So we all thought and hoped this was going to be the third and the final liberation, which is going to be the economic liberation of this beautiful country called Kenya. Only to get in, 2 years down the line, the quality of life has gone lower. The expenses has gone a bit high, and disposable income gone a bit low. So basically life became expensive and more costly. And I believe from what you saw, because this whole movement started with rejecting the finance bill, which again speaks to the economy of the country, that translates to the economy of the common monarchy down there. And the president came out and said, you know what guys, okay, I've had you. So, tachana na hiki tu. Reject finance bill, tumeangusha, right?
Yeah.
And you guys said what? Dissolve the cabinet. Okay, sir, done. Boom, it's here. So this can be termed as a success of this movement. Of course, there are many other requests or demands that they've made. But with these two things or two moves that the president made, it's a huge success. So from where you sit compared to these other generations, these are things that the previous generation have not managed to do. What made it possible for this particular group, known as the Gen Zs, to be successful this time compared to the previous ones?
Okay, thank you, Faisal. I think for one, when you look at the Gen Zs, when they say they are tribeless, I think we have a big problem with tribe in Kenya. Anytime maybe somebody is accused of anything, they quickly go back to their tribe, and then you see their tribal elders coming out and saying, leave our person alone. So we've been driven by tribe for so long. We always vote on tribal patterns. I think that is very clear. When this is my person, he says, you're voting this way, we go that way. So long as that is the tribe. So what these young people are coming up with is something very powerful for this country. Because for once, they're saying, we are tribeless. And that is a strength. Because we as Kenyans, the minute we think as a tribe, we usually really go into our cocoons. But now they're saying we are tribeless and we are one. So for me, what I've seen for them is that they have a lot of unity. This is a strength. They're using their strengths. Just the fact that they're coming out there as Kenyans and holding a Kenyan flag, already that makes you feel you want to be a part of them. Because they're just saying we are Kenyans and this is the flag.
So it's a unity of purpose.
A lot of patriotism and a unity of purpose. Two, they are people who can mobilize. And luckily they have technology on their side. So these are people who can mobilize very fast and actually know what they are doing from what I have seen. They're not just working with zero. Like they might say they are leaderless, but the minute they decide they are doing something, they actually see it through. And another thing I like about the group is the energy. Like I've not seen that kind of energy in a long time. It's actually infectious. It makes you feel like, wow, we have Kenyan youth who can actually take this country to places. So for me, what I would say has made them very successful is one, their unity of purpose, the fact that they are tribeless, the fact that they can mobilize very fast, and then you can see their energy and their purpose. And then the other thing you see is they have a lot of empathy for each other. I've not seen, like I would say when we used to see the Azimio like demonstrations, people would die, people would be very injured and everything. But you'd not see the kind of empathy you see with these young people. They are there for everybody. They are fundraising for these people. They are visiting them in hospital. They are burying them. They are, wallahi, they are there for their families. So they are people you look at and you're like, wow, where are these people coming from? Where have they been all along? This is what we've needed for a very long time. So for me, I feel like what they are showing us actually as a Muslim, the only part I have a problem with them is just the leaderless. But I feel I understand why they are leaderless at some point, because you can see that once we know who a leader is, the leader is quickly compromised. So that is their greatest fear. But I think what we should see is as they go, they should have a structure of a leader somehow, even if it will be somebody that they don't want us to know. but they will
Just have a
eventually,
form.
because as Muslims we
festus
say,
leader.
yes, because as Muslims we say you cannot have a group that does not have a leader. But so far it has worked for them pretty well.
Interesting.
And what I felt is that I've actually brought us the ethics we should have as Muslims, like being tribeless, being people with empathy, being people who stand up for a cause, people who can unite for a purpose. And we have seen that in these young people. And the energy. I loved that. And from the word go, these young people were very peaceful. Very peaceful. Like every time I would see them telling the police, we are peaceful. And then
All
there's
they
a
have is
time,
our phones and a bottle of water.
yes, and there's a time they cornered the policemen. I saw that, and they told them we are peaceful. They had cornered them. If they wanted, they would have done anything to these people because they were a big crowd, and there was a car, police, and they were just around them. And I was saying, if these young people want to injure these guys, they can actually do it.
There was a police who was given water even by these people.
But they told them, look here, we are even going to make a way for you guys, Muende. We are peaceful. When you look at Parliament, he's called Koske, the MP, the one who uses a wheelchair.
Yeah.
He was so categorical. These people helped me get out of Parliament. They were so peaceful.
My colleagues loved
So
me
I'm
there.
saying these young men and women who have seen their own killed and still have the empathy to carry this old man out of Parliament. Who are these young people? I think we need to get to know who are these people. Because
They're everywhere. So if you say
they
you
are
want to
an
know them.
amazing lot. And for me, what I've seen of them is people that we can actually say that we have a country. I'm proud that we have them.
These are truly a disruptive generation. I think I can say that. Speaking as a millennial, one thing that I'm astonished and shocked is they have the audacity and the courage to speak to power. You know, some of us, being a millennial, we were whipped. You know, we were whipped growing up.
Yes.
So there is a fine balance between love, respect, and fear. So it all comes as a pack. So much as I may believe in something, want something, there's also the aspect of love, respect, and fear, either to the authority, parent, or whoever may be around. That is why you find, of course, a number of my peers, I can say, there's always the concept of compromising because of someone else, considering someone else. But Gen Zs are coming out with that mindset of it's me first. Okay, I care about you, but my friend, I'm also in the picture. I'm also in that equation. You know? And the bold move of speaking direct to power, when the president went to the X space and they could boldly ask questions. You could see on social media, on digital media, the way they respond to questions. Sumaiya, where do you get that courage from? Where is it coming from? You have no fear at all. In some quarters, actually, it can be termed as disrespect. In some quarters.
Well, we as Gen Zs, we have, I won't even call us Gen Zs. In this generation, and I tend to believe most of us, the parents are raising us by ending generational trauma. So how they raised us to be more vocal to what we want, to be more outspoken to what we need, to tell someone, you're hurting me, you're stepping on me, say it, because you're the one who's getting hurt. This person doesn't think they're stepping on you. So say it, so and so, you're stepping on me. Please stop it. Because at the end of the day, we don't know Mia. So by no, because this person doesn't see they're hurting you, and if you don't say it, they will never know. So you have to speak up for somebody to identify with what you're going through. And then another thing is the fact that we have exposure. We have TVs, we have social media, we have movies, we have books. For example, when we were in high school, we read the set books that are talking about the very same thing that our politicians are doing right now.
We also read it, but again, you guys are different.
Well, the thing about you people,
Kifo Kisimani, you know.
funny enough, zenye mulisoma, it's not the same one as, there's one specific one called Mr. Hikimea. It says exactly everything that our regime is doing to the latter. To having a best friend who puts you in power. To having someone who dies and you're asking it was only one person who was killed. The exact words that are being thrown to us out there are the exact same ones that are in our books. And in the books, we saw how Kina Mulili, how Kina Jere, how they fought with this regime. We saw how people died for this to be successful. We saw how at the end of the day they were successful. So I really thank the same government and the same educational system for putting this on our path. They just told us, chukweni msome. But in the real sense, they didn't know that they were actually empowering us, because there's no way every set book you're doing, you have 3 set books all talking about the same thing: corruption.
Oh, no.
Political leaders who are bad, Shiba, Mstaikimea, Kidaga Kimemozea, Caucasian Choksako, all these set books we did are talking about the very same politicians that we're seeing there. So to us, it's like, no, this is not normal. This has happened. This is a foreshadow of everything we read in school. So why is this happening? This is so not normal. So let me speak it up. Let me tell so-and-so in authority, by the way, whatever you're doing is not right, because this action has this consequence. So if you decide that you're not going to acknowledge the people who died, actually the most crucial thing that is really making people angry is the fact that you are not acknowledging the lives lost. This is your son, because you're calling us sons and daughters. This is somebody your son's age. This is somebody your daughter's age. Acknowledge, empathize with the parents. That was the greatest thing actually people were asking for, because all this would have been swept under the rug the moment the finance bill was dropped. I swear people will have forgotten this movement. Then, if only they would have taken the initiative of empathizing and acknowledging the people who had died and ask for, okay, what do you want? So does that mean you guys wouldn't care about all these other demands, like, for example, Ruto must go, for example, dissolve the cabinet? It's not that we wouldn't have cared. We would have cared, but it wouldn't have been such a big issue like it is right now. So the ignorance, and also the fact that now other small political classes were coming and speaking out with so much arrogance and so much attitude, and to us, it wasn't giving. By the way, utaanguka nayo. So it's not working for us, because why would you do something so wrong and want to justify your actions? You're not told to justify your actions, you're told to own up to your mistakes. We just wanted you to own up. Accountability. Yes, accountability. So will there be an end to this thing? There'll be an end the moment that he does the things that we want, and the moment that he is accountable. We want accountability. Kenyans, because right now it's all about Kenyans. We want accountability, we want transparency. So who should he listen to? Every Kenyan. Because right now it's not only the Gen Z who are speaking up, millennials are speaking up, our mothers, the baby boomers, the Generation X, everybody is speaking up. Why? Because everybody is being affected in a different way. There's someone somewhere who's angry because the medicine doesn't get to the constituency. There's someone who's angry because they can't pay school fees and the help isn't working because people don't have IDs. There's a parent who wants to take their children to university and can't get help because the son doesn't have an ID since a year ago. Why? Because our systems are so corrupt and so rotten to the core. And that's what we want our president to deal with, because he has the power. He really has the power. He just doesn't know that he has the power, or he's ignoring the fact that he does have the power. But he really has the power. He can go to the Ministry of Education. By the way, the people are complaining this and this and this and this about your cabinet. Please work this and this out. Go to the other ministry, work this and this out. We want transparency. The same way it has been going on social media about the Ministry of Sports. We just wanted an explanation and a list of the people who are going there. We didn't even ask them for anything else, like reduce the budget of the people who are going. No, we just wanted accountability. Yes, tell us, people who are going and the budget you've allocated for them. Because there's a ghost person there who's going at a contiwa budget, and there's money there that's going to be spent that's going to go to people's pocket. And that's what we don't want. We want you to use our funds appropriately. We cannot be paying taxes that you're cutting every now and then and you're not seeing where they're going. You cannot be taking loans every now and then without consulting us as the people of Kenya, and then you expect us not to want to know where our money has gone. You can't tell us you've taken 100 billion and it's not going to the roads because we can't see a road in our area. You cannot tell us that you're constructing hospitals. There are no hospitals. People are coming from Mashinani to come to hospital in Kenyatta, and in Kenyatta it's too full to accommodate them. Why? Because the money you've said you are located in a hospital in Molo, in a hospital in Gishagi, in a hospital in Kisii. We can't see the hospital. So we want accountability. Tell us, this money went to this hospital. What was bought? 10 beds. Where are the 10 beds? Don't tell us 10 beds and they're not 10 beds. Don't tell us a classroom was built. We are seeing on social media classrooms and schools were built, and the children in class surely are sitting down. Surely. The same thing they're saying they're doing, it's coming back to bite them, because social media, as I've said, is a very powerful tool. Wow. And it never forgets. Whatever you did 10 years ago comes back. You said, oh, I'll build a certain kind of road. There's someone who is in that town and had whatever you said now 10 years later, takes a picture of that road and tells us, oh, you said you'll build this road in 2010. Where is this road in 2024? Vertical ground. Exactly. So we want to hold each and everybody accountable for their actions, accountable for every one taxpayer's coin. Kama ni 10 bob ya taxpayer, tell me, 10 bob, 5 bob ilinunua nyanya, 5 bob ilinunua dania. Beautiful.
You're a very proud mother. A very proud mother.
I'm a very, very proud mother. You know, when you talk about the Gen Zs, what they are voicing out is what their parents have been maybe trying to say, but didn't know how to say it. Exactly. Because all along we've had regimes that have come, have used the same taxes, the resources, and were never accountable. And we would feel the frustration, but we had the fear, you know.
What if?
No, the fear of, you know, you always told, mkianza hizi maneno mutaenda kama Somalia. Mkianza hizi maneno mutakuwa kama Sudan. Mnataka, you know, so once you think of all those things and you imagine yourself in a refugee camp with your children, then you're like, okay, wacha wakule, bora we have a stable country. So all along, all what we have been dying for is stability. And then these people now took advantage of that. That these people fear a country that is unstable. So that is a card that has been used throughout. Anytime there is, you know, so that brings people back like, oh, no, we don't want to go that way. Wacha tukae na hii shida tuko nayo, bora tuko na peace. So, you know, we had this, I think we had a very shaky ground, but thinking that we're very stable. And these young people, they're in the same house as we are in. They are feeling our frustration. You know, when I go and buy stuff and I come and say, like I kept on saying, are you sure these things are, you know, higher? They are seeing their parents really struggling to pay the fee. Higher. The young person has just gotten employed. They look at their pay slip. They're so frustrated. You as a parent, you are hoping that this person gets a job and is able to at least take care of themselves. But when you look at the pay slip, they can't. Wallahi, I have somebody who got a job in Nairobi. She's from Machakos. So when she got this job, she got I won't mention the amount of money, but she told me, you know, auntie, I calculated my bus fare and my rent is all what I was doing, nothing. So she went back. She said, I quit the job and went back home. So how does that make you feel as a parent? This is a university graduate who is sitting at home, got a job that she saw, all what I'm doing is paying fare and paying my rent, na kukula, na bus, I can't do. She told me I'd rather sit at home. My mom told me come back and stay in the house. So that is where they are seeing their parents at. Higher. Look at the interns. Somebody had the audacity to say, I don't even want to say it.
My hands are tied.
Leave alone my hands are tied. Somebody actually said, what makes them feel they are so special? And wanafanya internship just like any other intern. These are people who have done their 7 years. They are already doctors. They just want a license. And if you walk into any government hospital, the person most likely who will treat you is an intern. So when the interns are on the streets, who is treating our people? Question mark. Higher. This parent has taken this child through this somebody who is a whole doctor but cannot maintain themselves. And then you say, pay them 70,000. Come back and look at the salary the CSs are earning. How much are they earning?
It's dissolved.
No, how much are they earning? Like, I use the word I'm not saying, are they earning? Earning. So look at that comparison.
Of a million.
And we are not saying we want our doctors to be paid like the CSs, no. But can we respect people who really help this country? Like, a doctor is somebody very important. These interns, even now if you go to hospital, go to Kenyatta, the number of people waiting to see a doctor are so many. The ratio is totally unbalanced. So how come we don't see this is an important group of people? And you see, these young people have been seeing these things happening. They've been seeing GSS teachers going out there with placards. You know, they have been seeing the doctors on strike for such a long time. All the time the doctors were on strike, who was treating the patients?
So it was something that was compounding.
There was a lot compounding.
So it was not just
everything was showing the country is going the wrong way, but there was nobody who was willing to speak up. So we were just waiting. It was, for me, it was a time bomb ticking and just waiting. And then the arrogance, the opulence. I think just before, during this finance bill thing, I don't know whether the arrogance got more, because 2023, we were told mpende msipende, the finance bill will pass to the letter, to the comma, to the full stop, you know, and it actually passed.
Yeah.
And you see, for us, as me, as Riziki, I was like, even this one of 2024, tutapiga kelele, tufanye public participation, iende bunge, wale MPs wanunuliwe, then again, and life goes back to kawaida and life goes on. Until these young people now were like, hey, wait a minute, you guys can't keep doing this. So they started waking us up. So whatever you hear them saying is what their parents are also saying. They're not speaking only on their behalf. And they are speaking for every mother, every father, every uncle, every brother. They're actually speaking for the entire Kenya. And that is why if today they were to say, now we want our mothers and fathers and grandmothers and uncles out, you will see us out there.
Hey.
But they told us,
kaeni nyumbani.
Kaeni nyumbani, we are doing this, we are good.
Na wanasalimia watu.
Na wanasalimia watu. So they kusalimia, I would wish they wouldn't salimia in such a manner. Wasalimiane taratibu.
Yes.
Kusalimiana is good. Go to their place, tell them we are here. You are a person we have put there to work for us, not to come and show us opulence and arrogance. What we have seen is a lot of arrogance, a lot of opulence.
Yeah.
And wallahi, I think every Kenyan, wherever they were sitting, were wondering for how long. Like, will it go like this forever?
In still trying to understand this generation, mental awareness and emotional intelligence was not as popular 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You as a mental health practitioner, it's something that you had to advocate for so long and tell people, guys, you need to take care of yourself, you need to understand yourself, you need to know yourself, mental wellness. But again, with this generation, we are seeing a paradigm shift. These are people who are more aware about their emotions, they're more aware about their mental state. And there's a research actually that was done in Kenya about the Generation Z, and someone can easily quit a job of this generation just because they don't feel it.
Yeah.
Someone can take a mental health break. Like, no, I'm taking 2 hours, just, I'm not feeling it. It's too toxic. Like, words like toxic working environment are things that are coming up. They are coming now, yet if you really dig down and dissect the situation, so these are things that probably used to exist even before. But again, the vocabulary is to articulate and to define. It's a toxic, too much toxicity. Your toxic traits, like, okay, you know? So that speaks to their awareness, at least, how aware they are, how woke, so to speak. That's the word they use. You're so woke.
You're so woke.
It's a generation that is woke, basically. They are aware, right? How then does that make you feel, or what do you have to say to that? as a mental health practitioner?
For me, it's very exciting that we have a group of people who are aware of themselves, people who know when it is toxic, when to take that break, like you're saying. And you see, when you're self-aware, you know what are your goals. You see, one thing I will say about the slogan, I won't mention the slogan, but the slogan they have, it's a very high, it's something that me as a...
Which slogan?
I don't want to say the slogan, no must go, you know. So when they say the slogan, you can see that slogan is very highly placed. Like they went for the highest. If we don't hit the stars, what will we hit?
The clouds, the moon.
The moon, you know.
Yeah.
So these are people who are very aware of that. So that slogan is not just a by the chance slogan. These are people who are so aware that they even know when we want something, we must set goals. So before they even went out there, as much as we are thinking, they are so leaderless, but they made some goals. Even now, they have goals. And even now, they are making some demands. So, you know, they're not speaking from zero, because these are people who are so aware. And why are they so aware? One, these are people who are very exposed. They are so exposed, they know what is happening the entire world. They listen to other people, they teach each other. I saw them teaching each other the finance bill in all languages. I knew when somebody comes online and says, they don't even know what they're talking about. I'm like, do you really know them? You know, they teach each other. So if it's about emotions and self-awareness, they teach each other. They share experiences. So this is a group of people that I'm sure, if well guided, will actually place Kenya at a very high place. And we're really proud to have them. That's one thing. And for me, one thing I want for them is to take care of their mental health. Because you see, when you're out there for the first time, you're seeing somebody being shot. You've never seen that before. It's your first time to even see that much blood. They have to make sure that at least they're also taking care of their mental health. When they hear of abductions, when they hear of some things, when they're going for these funerals, like they must have a way of also making sure that they're taking care of themselves. So I think in part of their packages is they must also take care of their mental health, because they are people who I know will go look for the tools. And I know they will, no, they will deal with it. We are not even worried about that. It's just reminding them that, okay, guys, also take care of your mental health. And I know they look for the tools. I know they will look for the ways to do it, and they will do it. So it's a people we are not so worried about. It's, I think whoever had a notion that this is a passing cloud needs to wake up and smell the coffee.
Wow. Where can I smell the coffee?
The clouds are gathering.
And they are gathering real fast.
Gathering really fast.
They will not believe.
They will not believe.
One thing they should know is the fact that it's not going to end. The fact that we want accountability, even 5 years down the line, we're still going to hold whoever is going to be in that office accountable. Because that is the only way we're going to change this regime for the better. They keep on giving an example of Singapore. We want to be like Singapore. And the only way we're going to be like Singapore is being accountable.
You're scaring me. If anything, I don't want to be a leader in this country then.
So you're planning coming and steal people's funds?
No. It's just because...
Then you can be a leader.
You're just looking at the structure around it. You may be so good.
Difficult.
But if you look at the systems and the structures around it, even Okia Umtata came out the other day, he said, if you're really pushing me to be a leader, then it has to be about an ideology, not about the individual.
Yes.
And if there is someone better in this ideology, then I'd step back.
And the reason people in social media are bringing him up is because it's not about him as a person, it's about how he's constantly fighting about our constitution. Not even now. Ever since 2010, 2020.
Ever since you knew him.
Ever since you know
For
him.
Gen Zs.
He's constantly fighting about the constitution. He's being battered, he's being hurt, he's being harassed. But the one thing he's constantly fighting about is the constitution. And one thing Kenyans we have that is very powerful is that constitution. If you really pay attention to that constitution, it's the most powerful tool we have. And it's the one thing that everybody is slandering and throwing around, and it's like they know the power of the constitution, and that's why they're sidestepping it, and that's what we don't want. We want you to work as per the constitution, so anybody can be a leader, and a very good one at that. The only thing you have to do is be transparent and follow the rule of law to the letter. Then you'll be a very good leader. Because if it's about handling our economy, we clearly see we lost our fallen soldiers, Kina Rex Masai, Kina Beasley, and people came out together as one, as my mother has said, and we arranged for funds, we arranged for Mchanga, Tulichanga, we got a lot of money, and we started paying for people's hospital bills. This is something that's very possible in this country, and yet the president comes and tells us, this is the amount we have in debt, and this is what I've done, and this is what is left. Help me as Kenyans. Trust you me, everybody will remove their single coin, and we will fix this country together. Without even problems. So actually, Kenyans don't even have, yes, Singapore and Korea, that is where we're aiming to.
Here we come. Singapore and Korea. Gen Zs are bringing us there.
Exactly, by force, by fire, we have to be like Singapore.
You spoke about something very profound, and that's the Constitution. And they say we need to, it's a powerful tool that they're trying to sidestep. And the slogan that you guys are chanting and going through the streets with is Ruto must go. Yet he was democratically elected. And he's supposed to go out of office in, I think, August, the first Tuesday of August, 2027 is when the election is supposed to happen, right? That is what the Constitution says. Why can't we wait until then? Why can't we do something else until then?
We can't.
Why must he go now?
We can't wait until then, because the more we wait, the more they are laundering money. The more we wait, the more they're stealing funds. The more we wait, the more the people under him are sabotaging him, actually.
So let me ask, just like a layman.
Yes.
Is it him to go regardless of what he does? It's conditional? If he listens to your demands, then he can stay?
It's leaderless.
According to you.
I don't want to sound controversial or anything, but I truly believe, other than being petty or something, or being just a hater, because I'm not, I really voted for this man. Other than being all that is the fact that if he really listens to the latter, as per everything people are saying, trust me, he'll last to 2027. If he deals with his people, not only the cabinet, there's so many rotten places in this government that need to be dealt with. We need to flush it out. And we can't do that in bits, because we remove, it's like amputating a leg that's rotten. You can't remove the fingers and leave the rest of the leg, because the infection is going to eat out the rest of the parts. You have to cut it from where it's starting. And the reason people are constantly chatting about Ruto must go is the fact that he's not paying attention to the little people who are damaging him. Yeah, he's not getting it. The little people who are damaging him are the ones who are going to lead the road to him. So that's why we are targeting him, because that's where the road's starting. It's a branch that's trickling down to everyone.
So if he listens, then
if he listens and he cuts it from where he is, then everything else
he can stay until 2027.
we can bear until 2027. Yes. But we want fresh faces.
But otherwise,
these people have been there since independence. When Kenya got independence, please release us from the shackles. Release us.
So
different faces.
Which new faces?
Just new faces. People who weren't there since independence.
Do you have
Somebody
ideas of
who fought
alternatives?
with Kapunguria 6. No, please release us.
Okay.
No, I can't say about alternatives, because we will know once everybody has been wiped clean. That's when now people will, as you've seen in social media, people saying dust your CVs and start vying for the positions. We have very competent people in these fields, very competent. And by competence, I mean you can't handle a health sector. You didn't even do medicine. How will you understand the grievances in the hospitals? You can't handle agriculture and you didn't do agriculture. How will you okay, to be honest, as a layman's language, as you're saying, how will you understand the problems that are in that sector and you're not a professional in that sector? We need the top best candidates in each of these sectors to represent them. Why? Because now they understand the problems. They know hospital without this much of vaccines, without this much of immunizations for the kids, it won't work. We know hospitals with this number of beds and this number of traffic, it's not going to work. It's going to collapse.
Just thinking aloud.
Yes.
Of course, based on something that happened today. I would like to believe or to assume that sometimes these ministers, yes, they are handling those portfolios, but in some instances, they're just handling at quote unquote, again, kind of patronage level. because the accounting officers are the PSs, and then the operations are in the parastatals and the officers. Case in point, Ababu Namwamba, the former Minister for Sports. Hey, you're laughing. You guys are evil. Whoa. No way.
We're fixing our country.
Yeah. You guys are bad.
Fixing it.
We're fixing our country.
You guys are bad.
We're fixing our country.
Anyway, so the immediate former CS for Sports, when he was asked and put under pressure about the list of participants, right? I'd like to believe maybe it was just in his plans to ask NOC to produce that list, right? And to make it public. So that then would mean if he had the authority, he would have produced it from his office. But he didn't. So that's why he delegated the mandate.
Actually, somebody said that he was actually trying to just fool people because the NOC was just going to remove the ones for the athletes. But there's these guys who are carried usually, and even we saw it at the last Olympics.
They're non-athletes.
Remember the other Olympics?
The Rio Olympics.
The other one was quite a mess. You remember?
Yes,
it was quite a mess.
The Rio Olympics was a
so
mess.
even what happens is there's always somebody who is carried along as a baggage. I don't know why they always go.
Okay.
They have nothing completely to do with this. And I'm sure there was still that list. And you see what these Gen Zs are saying, that person going there is using a resource
100%.
that can be used somewhere else.
My point is, these people, yes, you say dissolve the cabinet. Okay, so he's dissolved the cabinet.
Good.
But again, does that mean that the rot is done, the infection is done?
No, that's what I've said. It's like an infection.
You know, it's like in the parastatal still, in the maybe.
But who does the buck stop with in
His
any
Excellency.
ministry?
Exactly.
With the Excellency, then to his CS, right?
It's a chain
So
of
when you're in
command.
a ministry and you're the minister, you're the top guy in that ministry. The buck stops with you.
Okay.
Okay. So as much as he'll have these other technocrats who work under him, but he's the one who makes the final call. He's the one who makes the final decision after he has been advised by these other guys.
Exactly. After he has
So
been
advised.
Okay.
Okay, if this guy is, let's say, giving out a tender, unfortunately, they don't do it the right way.
So is it that time we go for the advisors?
No, because who does it stop with?
The CS.
Yes, that's why we are saying the CS
But again,
should
he's
go.
acting based on the advice.
So it's based on the advice, but what is he doing there? What is his job? He's supposed to be overseeing for us the Mwananchi, isn't it? He's supposed to make sure that no government resource goes to waste because he's there because of us. He's actually overseeing for us to make sure that nobody is playing around with our monies and doing those kinds of things. So when he's seated there and he can't do that, then he needs to go home. And for me, I'm even thinking they don't even need just to go home. Anybody who has been involved in any corruption needs to be held accountable. Don't just go home. Go home to do what?
You know, as you've said,
As we're wrapping up, yes.
on the issue of the CS can't do anything because the PS and all that. It's like saying that not my circus, not my monkeys. But it is your monkeys. Your PS gives you a report. You clearly see this hasn't been done. This hasn't been done. Go back and call the PS who was supposed to handle this. Why didn't they handle this? PS aende aingie mtu mwingine. You're supposed to handle this. Why didn't you handle this? It's a chain of command. At the end of it all, there's somebody who's accountable, who relayed the information, and whoever was up on the hierarchy sidestepped it. As I've said, not my circus, not my monkeys. But it is their circus, and it is their monkeys. They're supposed to coordinate this. And that's why people are really targeting the head. Why? Because this head gets reports of all these places.
True.
But to him, it's an extension. It's an extension. But if you really pay attention, because people are not demanding for too much. They're not demanding for too much.
Just the basic.
Yes.
That's provided in the Constitution.
And we're not demanding for something that's very extravagant or cannot be achieved. No, just the basics.
In
Actually,
the Constitution.
it's a bare minimum. It's a bare minimum.
Wow.
And you're supposed to give that to us. Why? Because you owe that to us as the citizens of Kenya, because we appointed you there to, any leader who was appointed there, you were appointed there to serve us and to serve our interest. If you're not serving the interest of Kenyans, whose interest are you serving? Because if we tell you do it, you're not.
And that's how we are wrapping it up. 4 minutes past 9 o'clock. We're already overriding on time. We're already overriding on time. But again, amazing, beautiful conversation. I mean, subhanAllah, this hit home. And I would really like to have this again, of course, with you in a wider panel. Let's discuss this. Let's discuss the issues. Let us discuss alternatives. Because, I mean, as you all know in this show, we just don't discuss problems. What are the alternatives, right? And I can't do it anymore, guys. Masalam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.